Okay, so I got some kitchen roll and I dabbed over these figures. They were fairly dry, but I managed to make them a bit more faded because they were too strong. So you don't want them too strong. We want them to be just a little bit stronger than this background. They're probably actually too strong. It's quite a subtle thing and difficult to gauge, but good enough. And now it's time for the gouache. This is titanium white, and we're going to do highlights around the figures and maybe on the trees as well. So here we go. So I'm just going to squeeze or roll the tube up and the paint's coming out. Then I'm going to get my rigger, wash it thoroughly, and then I'm going to do these highlights. And I hope you don't see the back of my head because I've got a bald spot there, but if it happens, it happens. But the important thing is, with this, do test it on some scrap paper because you've probably got water on the brush hairs and you just get an ugly splodge. So these highlights really need to be thin, beautiful, crisp lines. And if you've got water, too much water on the brush hair, you'll just get a splodge. You don't want it. So I'm wiping it on some scrap paper and I think we're ready. Just to test, yeah. It really is critical to get that thin edge, that thin line, sorry. Okay, I think we're safe, but it could be a bit splodgy. Sometimes it's almost like glue, and you know, thick glue, sometimes you can just pull it and stretch it out. So if it's like that, you're doing the right thing, but sometimes you can't quite make it work like that. Oh, bit of a splodge there, but good enough. And then here we go. I'm going to lower her hat, so cheating there. Her hat was really here, but I brought it down to here. A normal viewer will not notice that. Okay, there we go. And this girl's arm, I hope it's not too long. Don't want her looking like a gorilla or something with really long arms. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's okay. That's okay. Maybe a tiny bit there. Then let's do this tree trunk. Coming down nice and slowly. There we go. And then the next one. Oh, I have to be careful I don't wipe over that. I'll do this one first. I might just suggest these are close to the building, so they're not really catching much light because they're in shade. And here we go, here with this one. There we go. Ta-da! There we go. So that's it. Now the next thing is to just do this path, and we want it to be lighter here. This is going to be our focal point, and a little bit darker here. I think she looks a bit more like a grandma than a mum. Anyway, let's do that. So I'm going to use this brush. Probably a round bamboo brush would be better, but let's save on the brushes and the paint if we can. Then I'm going to do yellow ochre, maybe a touch of burnt sienna, and I'm going to test this on some scrap paper. And again, okay, yeah, maybe that will do. Sometimes it comes out a bit different, but good enough. There we go. Now I'm going to let that dry and do another dry brush over the top, but this time a very cool colour like we did for the background wash, a lilac, a light purple colour here. So it makes the eye focus on the light here and these two figures, which will be our focal point.